Emotions hit the floor, we're steady. Truths unfold like cards on a table. Raw and real, always unstable. Tuesday talk, we're vibing right. Topics blaze like city lights. Truth and laughs, we keep it live. Tuesday's the night we all thrive.
Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. And good evening to everyone else within the sounds of my voice, north, south, east, west, and all points in between. You've tuned in to the October 7th, 2025 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host, van driver, teacher, administrator, facilitator, and most importantly, head chef, Mr. Mike Walker. Glad to have you here with us. Glad you could join us. You know, you could have been doing something else on this evening, this night, but you chose to spend it with us, though, looking at me. So thank you so much for that, though. We don't take it lightly. We hope and pray you had a good day today. And if not, well, you know, you made it through this day, and we pray that tomorrow be a better day for you. Okay? So, like I said, I'm glad to have each and every one of y'all here with us. We got a lot of ground to cover. We got a lot of things to get through. So just hold on to your seatbelts. And before we get started, and those of y'all know yesterday, if you read my shirt, this king was born on October 6th, which was yesterday. So yes, yesterday was my birthday, number 15. Yeah, you don't need to know. But so thank y'all who gave me birthday wishes. Thank y'all so much for that. Made this old man feel good though. So thank you. Okay, without further ado, we got a lot of stuff to get. Got a lot of ground to cover tonight, though. So let's get started. Let's get with the salutations. You know how we do it here. And if it's your first time here, let us know where you're watching from and what have you, though. So up front. Oh goodness. Marcus Wilbanks from the 205. Good evening. And from the 205 to Birmingham. Oh, goodness. You don't have to do that, though. But I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Missionary Madison, good evening to you, ma'am. Good evening to you. From the Palmetto State. Thank you. Glad to have you here. From Rocket City, Valerie Zachary Cavick. Good evening to you. Pastor Duffy Collins from Texas. Good evening as well. Shireen. Yeah, you in that music though. Okay, you in that music. Cuz from the Motor City, great to have you here. Always a pleasure to have you here. There you go, from Washington, D.C. Yes. Kelly Adams from Beham. Good evening to you, and thank you again for the birthday wish. Thank you. I hope you did something fun for your birthday. Well, I was alive, and that was good enough for me right there. I was alive, and that was good enough for me. Okay, I think that's all. Let me see who else we get. Pastor Vollers from South Carolina. Great to have you here, sir. Good to have you here as well. Okay, I think that's about it for now. But we got to get started though. Oh no, we got some more. Okay, our guest from a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Smith. Good to hang out. Glad you can hang out with us tonight. Yes, Angel Kelly from Rocket City. Well, no, I just usually just do it one day and I leave it alone. You know, that is pretty much it. So, but thank you. Theodora, good to have you here from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Great to have you here. Glad you could join us. I'm trying to think. I was trying to change this though. It's kind of hard to read though. I might have to go back to my original style though. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's the better one though. That's the one we always use though. So I just guess we'll stick with that. I could read it better anyway, and I think y'all can read it better as well though. So we'll stick with that. Okay. How about that? Okay. Comments. Okay. Well, that's about it though, far as salutations. Like I said, we got a lot to go. So let's get started though. As y'all can remember, about a month ago, we talked about emergency preparedness. Okay, thank you, Angel. About emergency preparedness. And it was a good video and it was well received. And for those of y'all that either forgotten or don't know what we are talking about, well, you know what? I'll play the video. I don't mind playing the video again. So y'all just sit back and listen. Well, if I can find it, y'all just sit back and listen.
Okay, if you're single and living in America, I need you to listen up. This is for you. There is so much going on in this world, and I'm not an alarmist, but preparedness is not just for married couples or suburban soccer moms with a Costco membership. It's for every single person that is living and breathing. And right now, I really want to focus on single people, but especially my single ladies. Because if the world suddenly shifted tomorrow, banks go down, Wi-Fi is down, and your city suddenly becomes unsafe, would you know what to do? And again, I'm not an alarmist, but I am a strategist, and I am a realist. So let's get real. Here are 3 powerful ways you should be preparing yourself during global conflict. Number 1, build your cross-state safety net. Identify your trusted contacts in 3 locations: local, regional, and national. I'm talking about people who are going to pick up when you call, not people who are going to screen your call, send you to voicemail because they haven't heard from you in 2 years. Let's get real. Save their numbers, addresses, and backup routes so you can get to them if you need to. Number 2, activate your Exodus plan. A valid passport, $500 to $1,000 in cash, small bills, nothing over $20. And then have a go bag ready with all of your essentials like your IDs, medications, food, tools, and protection. Now you need the cash because ATMs do go down, and you need the small bills because it makes transactions faster, easy, safer for fast exit. Save all critical documents both on your phone, but also print them out in case your phone goes down. Also, don't forget, you need to build a high value portable income stream. What do I mean? Something you can do from anywhere: coaching, teaching, all of the things that I teach you about in my monetization content. If your sole source of income is still tied to a desk job, an office job, it's an absolute liability, especially in times like this when we don't know what the economy is going to look like in just a month's time. And number 3, strategize with your singles circle. Other people around you that are single that need a support system. Not just your friends, not just the group chat, a grounded, well thought out coalition of people who move with strategy and wisdom, not ego and chaos. Now here's a bonus. Your circle should include a healthcare worker, a calm strategist, someone who doesn't buckle and get all panicky under pressure, a hands-on builder, your DIY friend that can build anything. Also, an experienced driver who knows how to read a map like it's second nature and who knows back roads and secret routes. That's what you need. And lastly, but most importantly, a spiritually grounded leader who hears very clearly from God, someone whose intuition and godly discernment you trust. This is not a season to be isolated. This is your season to be intentional. And don't get scared. Get prepared. I want you to share this with your single friends, tag them. I want you to like and comment for part 2. What to do if the banking systems collapse. I love you all, and I hope this helps. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Of course, y'all remember that. And like I said, it was well received, though. And people asking about the video and everything. Well, I got part 2. So I know y'all probably want to see it. No problem. I'm going to play it right quick. Well, it's not going to be right quick, but y'all sit back And listen, because she's talking about when the banking systems fail. Whew, that's a scary thought, though. Then we'll discuss that.
Okay, so here's your emergency plan part 2. What to do if the banking systems go down. Global unrest, global conflict, something crazy happens and the banking systems go down. Here's what you need to keep in mind. Now, we're not currently in crisis mode, so there's no need to panic. So everybody can just settle down in my comment section. But we have the benefit of time right now. So just save this, tuck this in your back pocket, watch it through, share it with some people, just in case. I'm a just in case kind of girly, and this is for all my just in case people. So here we go. So if the banking systems go down or they freeze for an extended period of time, what is likely to happen is that we will shift back to a barter system or a local trade system where your most valuable assets will become your collateral. And your most valuable assets will be tangible, essential, and transferable. Keep a running list of your most valuable collateral. And I want you to keep in mind what's going to be deemed valuable for your current region where you are currently located, but also for where you're headed. Whatever direction you're headed, whichever region you're going to end up in. So of course, at the top of that list are going to be precious metals, gold, silver, etc. But right next to that is going to be medical and hygiene supplies, first aid kits, pain relievers, antibiotics, feminine hygiene products, toilet paper, and then there's tools and equipment, manual tools, wrenches, hammers, nails, fishing gear, and of course, and always, everyone should have this, a fire starting kit. In fact, just go ahead and get a few of them so that you have them on hand. They're good for trading as well. Of course, there are essential consumables, food, non-perishable goods, sugar, salt is actually really good for trading, cooking oils, coffee, tea, alcohol, and honey. It can be used for a lot of different things, actually. Look that up. Of course, you're going to need ammo, self-defense, top of the list. Now, here's one thing that most people miss, but you're not going to forget this. So write it down, please. Hard copy knowledge and books, first aid manuals, gardening and herbal medicinal books, repair guides for plumbing, medical, electrical, survival guides at the top of that list, guides for home births and emergency medical care, but above all, your Bible. Everything else that you need, I'm sure it's already on your list. You've got your food, you've got your food storage, you've got your energy sources like gasoline, propane. And again, we're not currently in crisis modes, but read the signs around you, be prepared so that you're not scrambling at the end of the day. I live in Florida where a lot of floods and tornadoes and natural disasters happen. So I'm already in the habit of just reading the signs around me, reading the weather, looking at the news and what's going on, and then acting accordingly. Again, I'm not an alarmist, but I am here for preservation. This is for somebody, and I want all my single people to be prepared. I love you all, and I hope this helps. Bye.
Okay. Okie dokies. So let's discuss. The thing that I thought was very interesting was salt being a commodity. Now, that's something I found very interesting. Let me see who all else we have here. Let me see. Erica Stanley, good to have you here. Address book. That's a good one right there. Immigration papers, where applicable. Okay. And good to have you here, AB. Clean clothes for 2 weeks. Okay. Definitely makes sense. Okay. Okay. Biscuit. So now I gotta buy more books. Okay. Good advice. Yeah. From New York. How did you have to look for us? Well, okay. I ain't gonna worry about it. What she said about learning to grow your own food. Yeah. And then a lot of folks are doing that now. They probably been doing that. My late grandpa used to grow his own food, though. I mean, a bunch of stuff, too. So it was fantastic. Both parts 1 and 2 makes a lot of sense. Yes, it does. And especially if you look at what's going on in this world. Know what? In this world, and especially in these United States of America. So, yeah. You see what's going on. That's all I got to say. Hey, Kirsten, good to have you. Okay. And Tanya, good to have you here from the Palmetto State. Okay. But yeah, so you know what's going on in this world. Emergency preparedness. The salt kind of, I'm gonna have to do more research on that though. I never really thought about salt as a commodity though, but it has a lot of purposes. It's good for toothaches and abscess. It's definitely great for that. So I guess it got good healing properties though, and food preservation. Okay, I'm answering my own question. So, like she said, not to sound like an alarmist or anything like that, but you know what's going on. You watch the news, and also, and I'm gonna tell y'all this because we got a lot of ground to cover with the main event, but there's a lot of things. Oh, well, there's a lot of things that is happening in this country that mainstream media is not reporting. So I strongly suggest that, I mean, still watch the regular news, but also look for alternative news outlets and make sure that they are reputable. Just look for, just go outside the norm. There are a lot of things that's going on though. You would be shocked though. Salt, yes, exact. Yeah. What she said about bartering, yes. Oh, definitely. We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna definitely get to the point we're gonna have to go back to bartering. I definitely believe that though. They were just teaching us how to use storage buckets to set up a garden. Okay. Salt and honey, when swallowed, may help heal a sore throat. Okay, I didn't know that. Now, from what I've heard, and I may be in error, and you smart people out there, help me out. Honey doesn't go bad. At least that's what I always heard, though. Or at least it has a very long shelf life. And just hopefully somebody can verify that for me, though. So, hey, Renee, good to have you here. Um, so we're gonna see about that though. But again, you heard what this says, what she said in both videos. Okay, you're okay, correct. Because I heard that honey has a long shelf life. So that's pretty interesting right there. Just be prepared, okay? Just be prepared. And that's all I got. And especially when we come to this next topic, what we're about to discuss, preparation is key. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Okay, y'all. Okay, that was like the appetizer right there. The main course. We just gonna just get to the yep. I don't know why it does it like that. No, that ain't what I wanted. There you go. That's what I wanted right there. Okie dokies. As you know, October is, amongst other things, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I'm pretty sure that there are some of you that either been personally affected by domestic violence or know somebody close, dear to you about it, or what have you. So, and this is a tough one. This is a tough topic. And I'm going to put my crawler right here for the domestic violence hotline right there. In case you or someone you love are in need of this right here. Okay? Here we go, y'all. Here we go. As you know, I start these things off with a video, and I got some statistics of my own, though. So we're going to get started, and please jump in. Please jump in. Let me see which one. Let's go. Let's do it this one. Let me see. I'm trying to see which one I want to do first. Let's play this one first.
An average of 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. By the time this story ends, that'll be at least 72 people. Tonight, the story of a man who's been deeply hurt by domestic violence in his life and what one woman is doing to help break the cycle.
A very loving mother, a very caring mother, wonderful woman.
Lavelle Muhammad affectionately reflecting on his ex-wife, Desiree Harris. Harris was shot and killed at her home on 38th Street in Milwaukee in 2022. Milwaukee police identifying her killing as domestic violence related. Harris's boyfriend pulling the trigger.
A huge loss for your family.
Yeah.
Muhammad and Harris met as teenagers and remained married for more than a decade. Though they divorced years ago, they shared 3 children.
Hindsight, as they say, is 2020. Once she got murdered, then they started connecting all the dots.
Wisconsin is among one of the worst states in the country for victims of domestic violence, and black women face a disproportionate burden. A 2022 investigation found black women in Wisconsin are 20 times more likely to be murdered than white women. Harris, one of them.
Looking at these boards, seeing the faces of so many lives cut short, what is your reaction just to the people that we're losing?
They're predictable, but they're as preventable as they are predictable. These lives lost did not have to happen.
Antonia Norton, executive director of the ASHA Project, has been helping women and men leave abusive relationships for more than 3 decades. The nonprofit helps victims with restraining orders, case management, transitional housing, and counseling.
With black women more likely to be killed in a domestic violence related situation, why is that?
Poverty, economics, as a field, we have done some pretty good strides, but we're still failing victims.
According to End Domestic Abuse Wisconsin, there were 85 domestic violence deaths in 2023. The year before that, 96.
The programs and resources that you all offer, what is your ultimate goal?
Saving lives to prevent this.
A picture of Muhammad's ex-wife displayed here at the ASHA Project.
You were twice affected by domestic violence.
The pain from his childhood resurfacing. He watched his mom be abused for a decade by her husband.
What can you tell me about what you saw your mom experience?
Whew. No, I grew up, I seen my mom get choked. I seen her get burned by cigarettes. No, I still can hear the screams. Well, that's why I know I'm an advocate against it, because I lived through it. No, I don't think no woman needs to go through it.
For people who don't understand what that experience is like, how could you describe it?
I don't know if it's any way to describe it. No, hearing somebody who you love literally being tortured. I don't know. You have to be there, because it looked good on the outside.
Right.
But there was some horrific things going on behind them doors. The system is not going to change overnight. But we can hold our communities accountable.
Kevin Alston pleaded guilty to second-degree reckless homicide in the killing of Desiree Harris. He is currently serving an 18-year prison sentence. Advocates want everyone to know about the services and resources available to those experiencing domestic violence. The ASHA Project can be reached at 414-252-0075.
Very important and powerful story there. On your screen right now is the phone number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Help is available there 24/7. We also have resources available in the link to this story on the 12 News app.
"18 years. 18 years for taking someone's life. 18 years. Let's let that sink in. 18 years. 18 years. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, it is. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. And it affects everybody, regardless of race and creed and what have you. But since this is a majority, and I'm pretty sure we got some non-black brothers and sisters watching it, and of course you're welcome to watch and comment though, but definitely we got more uh uh people of color watching this though. So I definitely want to address my community. We're gonna show some stats though, okay? We're gonna show some stats. And let me just get this here. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. We're gonna look at these stats together. Let me do this right quick. Here we go. And right here. Lifetime in IPV, physical, sexual violence or stalking. About 45.1% of Black women report having experienced physical violence, sexual violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Now, that's stunning though, because domestic violence is a bad situation. Nobody should be beating up on anybody. Definitely no man should be beating up on a woman. But look at how it is on Black women. That's something to think about right there. Yeah, we're going to keep reading. Physical violence by an intimate partner in lifetime. Approximately 41% of Black women report having been physically abused by a partner at some point. Approximately, that's almost half of Black women report having been physically abused by a partner at some point. Wow. About not rape by intimate partner during her lifetime. About 9% of Black women have experienced rape by a current or former partner. Stalking by intimate partner. Approximately 16 to 20% of Black women have experienced stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And stalking is bad, y'all. I don't know, and I don't know if I shouldn't even be asking this. Maybe I should though. But how many of y'all have been stalked before? This is a show of hands though. Stalking can be terrifying. Stalking can be very terrifying. Like, let me listen to some of these comments right here. Erica says he needs the death penalty, in my opinion. 18 years is just as bad as pretty much. Yes, it is. I agree with you. 18 years is just as bad. I agree with you 100%. And Shireen is raising her hand. Yep. Know what I recall you telling us about this. Yes. It's so sad, but I believe all of these is, but wait, there's more, Erica. But wait, there's more. Here we go again. Homicides and lethalities. Black women make up around 22% of female intimate partner homicide victims, despite being roughly 8% of the U.S. population. Let me read that again. Black women make up around 22% of female intimate partner homicide victims, despite being roughly 8% of the U.S. population. Oh, and this one right here, risk relative to white women for lethal violence. Hold on to your seats, y'all. Black women are nearly 6 times more likely than white women to be killed in domestic violence related homicides. I'll read this again. Black women are nearly 6 times more likely than white women to be killed in domestic violence related homicides. Folks, and it's bad, and I got to clarify this. It's terrible when any woman is a victim of domestic violence homicide. Okay, that's terrible, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever. It's a terrible situation regardless. But Black women are 6 times more likely to lose their lives. Just let that sink in for a minute, y'all. 6 times. Let me see what they got to say. It's sad but true, but I believe all these statistics. Angel, I've been stalked. Oh, I am so sorry about that. Sad but true. I hold my comments until the after party. And yes, I have been stalked. Erica, a friend of mine lost her sister to domestic violence. I'm so sorry. Her sister, wow, was killed by her husband. Oh boy. So, oh man, this and it's terrible. And let me put this back up here. Renee says, I'm tired of reading horror stories of Black women ended up dead when they go out on dates, for example. In addition to them being trafficked. Oh man, y'all. The human trafficking situation, especially nowadays. And I hate to keep bringing this up, especially how things are going in this country. Sisters, y'all got it bad. And and we failed y'all. That's all I got to say. We failed y'all. Y'all are 6 times more likely to lose your lives due to domestic violence. That's terrible right there, y'all. That's terrible. Got another video for y'all. And it's kind of backing up what I just talked about, though. Sit back and just take a listen.
Continue to shed light on the issue of domestic violence. It is aware.
Won't play for some reason.
Continue to shed light on the issue of domestic violence. It is Awareness Month, and it impacts all communities. However, studies show Black women are impacted at a higher rate than any other race or ethnicity. The Institute of Women's Policy Research shows some 31% of all women will experience domestic violence. For Black women, that statistic is more than 40%. One Knoxville woman shares her story of survival with 10 News reporter Jacinta Render. Jacinta?
John, unfortunately, each year in the United States, 10 million people are estimated to experience domestic violence. I talked with one survivor who shared her story, hoping to inspire others to get out just like she did.
You know, I'm here today to say I survived it.
Over 10 years ago, Tiffany got out of what she says was an abusive marriage.
I experienced domestic violence, the mental and the physical abuse.
The mother of 3 kids says the relationship did not start out that way.
He spoiled me, he romanced me, he took care of me.
The marriage took a turn for the worse during a hard time in her life.
I can say right after my mother passed in 2006, everything started going left. He started changing. At that time, we was probably in a marriage for 5 or 6 years.
Tiffany is not alone. 4 in 10 Black women will experience some form of abuse. The Family Justice Center says they've seen the impacts locally.
We're definitely seeing a higher than representative percentage of the victims who come here for services are part of the Black community.
There are several factors that contribute. Research shows Black women are less likely to turn in an abusive partner to law enforcement. Tiffany says after being married for 8 years, enough was enough. With help from the Family Justice Center, she is now a survivor.
Justice Center really helped me a whole lot, but I can say I'm stronger than I was before.
Tiffany hopes her story can inspire all women who are dealing with domestic violence to get help.
Young girls, older, whatever the case may be, you're not by yourself.
While domestic violence disproportionately affects Black women, advocates say it can happen to anyone. John.
Jacinta Render with that story. Thank you, Jacinta. And if you or someone you know is in need of help, there are resources available right now across East Tennessee. You can check our website, WBIR.com, and click on the As Seen on TV section. You'll find a list of groups that are supporting women, raising awareness about domestic violence.
Okay, let's have a conversation. Let's just pretend this is the after party. Why is there such a disproportionate? I mean, and no woman should be abused. It's gonna make this regardless of your race. No woman should be abused. But with that said, and somebody, let's really have a conversation. Why is it's so high in the Black community? Help me with that. I know the lady made some kind of, poverty or what have you. I don't know. But why do y'all think? Let's converse with this. Let's put our heads together. Erica, no one is talking about human trafficking at all. You're right. And that's a big issue. But you know what, Erica? You know why? Because it mostly happened to Black women. And I think Hispanic women is next. So, and it happens to all women, but especially that might have a, I don't know. Lord willing, I might address that next week, next episode. Y'all let me know. Do y'all want me to talk about that? I know these some heavy topics though, but we're in a crazy world, y'all. I am so sorry about that, Renee. I am so sorry. Theodore, I was a victim that survived. My ex-husband would get drunk and then become a different person. I literally fought for my life. I'm so sorry about that, Theodore. But I'm so glad that you made it, though. I'm so glad that you made it, though. Okay. Unfortunately, I've been a domestic violence victim along with my mom as a kid. And yes, you guessed it. It was by my biological father. I'm so sorry about that, Marcus. Environment, family history, definitely, and mental health are some factors that play a part in contributing to this, unfortunately. Okay, honestly, we've been a target in the USA ever since we were bought here. We are very disenfranchised. Okay. If it ain't one thing for us, about us, it's another, ain't it? I mean, but for our women, though, Black women in America catch hell. Just gonna just say it that way. If it ain't from bigots, it's from the own kind. And never mind. I don't want to go off on a tangent. Hey, Latoya, I believe it goes back to slavery days. Women were getting abused by their husbands because of the, well, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that right there. I doubt this is just my take on it. And we could talk about this more in the after party, but I definitely don't believe that was going on during those slavery days, the antebellum day. I don't believe that right there. Now, I think that myth started going on, especially around the turn of the, at the beginning of the 20th century, and Jim Crow and everything else, and frustrations, maybe. But I think, if anything, to be flat honest with you, I think the bond between black men and black women were at their strongest during the slave time. I definitely don't believe that, though. No, I don't. I disagree with that. Respectfully disagree with that. I think some men believe our women are their own control issues. Mhm. African women have always caught hell from everyone. In case my abuser was abused himself, so he repeated what was done to him. Wow. Those of us who have overcome should definitely be willing to help one another. Abuse conditioning is a hard thing, though. Wow. And it's sad, though. So how do we stop this? How do we stop this? I don't know. But got another one. Another story about a survivor. Sit back and listen to this right here. Oh,
A young mother is recovering tonight after she was beaten so badly she ended up in the hospital. Welcome to Action News at 11. I'm Diane Larson. Lee Conklin has the night off. The attack, she says, was at the hands of her ex. In this crime and safety alert, 13 ABC's Tony Geftis spoke with the woman. And Tony, how's she doing?
Diane, she says she's relieved that the suspect is now in custody, but she is still concerned for her overall safety.
That's when he dragged me into the hallway and held me down by my neck and started punching my face.
Jenna Lee is a survivor of domestic abuse.
Yeah, I just kept going back. I didn't think it would get this bad until it got this bad.
Jenna, who's a 23-year-old mother of two, says after work Friday night, she went to an apartment on the 2000 block of Warren Street. Her ex-boyfriend, who's not the father of her kids, Jenna says, came over at about 2 in the morning and heard her on the phone with a male co-worker.
I realized no matter how comfortable I was with him or, how much I thought he loved me, he just kept on getting more and more abusive.
The attack sent Jenna to the hospital and into hiding. Shortly after 11 o'clock this morning, deputies with the Lucas County Sheriff's Office arrested Montrese Hughes, who's 29. He's now facing a charge of domestic violence. While she's waiting for the court proceedings, Jenna has a message for others who may be in a similar situation.
It's not worth going back, no matter how much you think the person loves you or how comfortable you are there. You need to expect, if they put their hands on you the first time, then it's going to keep happening. It's only going to get worse.
Jenna says she's now getting help from her family and several agencies and organizations. She is right now focusing on the safety of her children, who are both under the age of 2. Live in Toledo, Tony Geftis, 13 ABC, Action News.
Now, a couple of notes on that story. That happened in 2022. Okay. A year later, it went to trial. He was found guilty. You won't believe what the sentence he received. You saw how that poor young lady looked. He received 4 years. 4 years of supervised community control. He received for his crime 4 years of supervised community control. In other words, maybe house arrest or something like that. 4 years of community control. He didn't even go to jail. Just let that sink in, y'all. 4 years of community control. Let me look at this. It's the environment that we are raised in. Some have morals, some want or need love. She is barely an adult. I'm sorry. She just a babe. Come on, StreamYard. Okay. It's hard to talk about the topic. There's a lot of shame that comes with being a victim also. Definitely. Hey, Cleo. I bet if she was white, they would have Are you serious? Yep. What state that was in? If I'm not mistaken, I think that was in Ohio. If I'm not mistaken. But I'll double check and remind me to double check. I hope she got an order of protection and became licensed to protect herself. That wasn't even a slap on the wrist. That was just a pinch. That was crazy right there. That's crazy, y'all. That's insane right there. That's insane right there. Okay. Got something else, though. Got something else I want to share with y'all. Because we talking about domestic violence. And you sisters got it bad. You sisters got it bad in this whole wacky country. But guess what, though? Sad but true and rare, domestic violence affect men as well. So y'all sit back and y'all listen to this right here.
Majority of domestic violence victims are women. Tonight, we're diving deeper into cases where men are the victims. It's rare, but it does happen, and sometimes with deadly outcomes. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska tonight looking at 2 high-profile cases with local connections.
The knife entered Christian's chest in a downward angle to the depth of 3 inches.
Miami, a social media influencer arrested.
We are charging 26-year-old Courtney Taylor Clenny with 1 count of second-degree murder in Christian's death.
Miami-Dade County State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle telling the media at an August news conference all the signs were there. This fight in an elevator with Clenny and her boyfriend Christian Abuseli is key evidence, along with constant noise complaints about violence.
It was a homicide.
In St. Petersburg, August 19th, Larry Jarrell is found inside the apartment he shared with his partner, Rhiannon Spicer, an eerily similar case where police say Jarrell was stabbed to death, the complaint showing that Spicer had a, quote, Google search history of, do you spend life in prison if you killed someone in self-defense?
Our advocates often have a very tough time that sometimes in abusive relationships, sometimes it happens within a 24-hour period that we'll get both partners in the relationship that reach out to us for help.
Christine Meister is the outreach program manager at the Spring of Tampa Bay. She did not comment on these 2 specific cases, but spoke in general about what she's experienced when it comes to domestic violence involving men as victims.
People look at men when they're the victims and they make the assumption that the man did something wrong. And there's a reason why they were the victim of domestic violence. Is that accurate?
So I think a lot of times when men are victims, they face additional biases, and a lot of that has to do with gender norms. Men have this expectation to be tough, to be more dominant in that relationship. And so when a man comes forward and says, no, this is what I'm experiencing in my relationship, I don't feel safe in this relationship, my partner is abusing me, or I have this coercive control, other people think, well, then you must not be a man.
Data reinforces that skepticism about men as victims. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 72% of all murder-suicides involve an intimate partner. 94% of the victims of these murder-suicides are female, and 1 in 4 women, compared to 1 in 9 men, experience severe intimate partner physical violence.
Our advocates have that very tough time of, let's put gender aside and really take a look at what is happening in this relationship.
Documents show Spicer was arrested in November 2021 for domestic violence, again just weeks before Jarrell was found dead. No contact orders were also in place. In February, court records show that Jarrell was also arrested for domestic violence and pleaded no contest. The couple had 3 children together, and since Spicer's arrest, police still have more questions than answers, Spicer invoking her right to remain silent.
Every act of violence in a relationship is always an act of domestic violence. Those words, domestic violence, should have a decidedly ugly feel to them.
Back in Miami, authorities say they found no evidence to Clenny's claim that Ambuseli was the aggressor.
There's no physical evidence that led us to believe that she was actually physically harmed in any way.
No matter what, everyone agrees someone should or could have done something to stop it.
Men are often, unfortunately, unwilling to come forward as victims of domestic violence, or of intimate violence, that is sometimes called. The sequence of domestic violence events can be broken.
How do we come together as a society to fix this issue of domestic violence that keeps recurring?
From one aspect, you can look at it that we need to teach what healthy relationships look like in the first place. It's about recognizing that domestic violence is everybody's problem.
In St. Petersburg, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
Surprise, surprise. Let me see what y'all got to say. See what y'all got to say. That part, that's deep. I bet he got a history of codependency. That's a total cry. See, she's crazy. Exactly. Ooh, I don't want to put this there, but yeah, that woman is a psychopath. Yeah. Yep, it is bad. I know a man who's dealing with this abuse. He that why I got in court and got a divorce. That advice is true. I'm gonna run these stats by y'all right quick about men. Here we go. Lifetime experience of physical violence, sexual violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner. Approximately 40.1% of Black men have experienced at least one of those forms during their lifetime. Psychological aggression by an intimate partner. Check this out, y'all. 56.1% of Black men report experiencing psychological aggression in their lifetime. That's over half of Black men. Wow. Physical violence, non-sexual by an intimate partner. About 36.3% of Black men have experienced physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Sexual violence, other than rape by an intimate partner, approximately 14.8% of Black men have experienced sexual violence, excluding rape, from an intimate partner. contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking in past 12 months. Non-Hispanic black men, around 12.1% reported such experiences in the months before the survey. Okay. Well, what do y'all say about that? It's bad all around. And then, of course, you can, if you believe a woman is embarrassed to talk about being physically abused, just imagine how a man feels, especially if it's a big size difference. You know, domestic violence shouldn't happen. And again, to my sisters out there, I feel bad. Before I did my research, I always knew black women in America had it bad. I mean, this is called for what it is. But black women are 6 times more likely to be killed as a result of domestic violence than a white woman. I mean, it doesn't make it any better because no woman should be killed. But that's just crazy right there. And then over half of black men have dealt with the psychological aggression. What can we do about this? I know we can't solve it in an hour's time, but what can be done about this, brothers and sisters? What can be done? Keep your hands to yourself. Talk to each other. Seek counseling. Seek professional help. You know, and of course, if you're watching this and, you know, you dealing with any of this stuff that we talked about, you see the number right there. That's the domestic violence hotline, 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. Please get help. Don't stay there. Run, leave. Just, you know, for God's sake, don't deal with that, okay? I'm begging y'all. Okay? And we'll talk more about this in the after party, though. I wish I had some solution, but it's not. I don't know what to say on this. It's heartbreaking, but just look out for each other. Look out for your families. Look out for your loved ones. Look out for yourself. Please, please, please do that. With that said, we are out of time, y'all. We're out of time. And it's time for the announcements. Up next, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have the after party. We're going to talk about this and other stuff. So y'all just join in and have a good time, okay? And then we're going to have the weekly fellowship next week, Lord's willing. And we'll talk about some more stuff. And Tuesday Talk. The week after that, we'll talk about some things as well. Oh, okay. And that's it. Thank y'all so much. I know this was a heavy and very serious topic, though, but it needs to be addressed in the black community, though, especially these times that we're living in, though. So I hope it wasn't too heavy for y'all. And hopefully y'all learned something, was helped. And again, please please, and definitely what Renee says, if you are a parent or in charge of children, make sure you know who they are around. Unfortunately, you can't trust too many folks these days. Mental health is such a need today. Yeah, it is. It is. So thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for y'all support. Be safe out there. Be careful. Stay vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. Be good and just take care and love on each other, okay? So take care, everybody, and good night.
You saw me when I couldn't see myself, pulled my heart off that dusty shelf. No need for mirrors when you're around. You lift me up without a sound. True to you like the sun to the sky. You're my steady when the world runs dry. No need for fancy words or lies. You're the reason my soul can fly. Oh. You hold my hand when the dark sets in. Laugh like the world could never win. Through every storm, every tear we've cried, I see your light where the truth resides. When the weight gets heavy on my chest, you're the shoulder where my spirit rests. Just a friend, but you feel like more. You're the key that unlocks my door. True to you like the stars in the night. You're my harbor when the tide's inside. Every whisper, every silent try. You're the answer to my why. So here's my heart, this love I send to the kind of soul that'll never bend. No title needed, no vows to bind.